Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be redoing these two nightstands. So let's get started. So we're going to start by shop vacuuming the inside of these nightstands, trying to get rid of any dust, any cobwebs, anything like that to give them a good cleaning to start. Good cleaning with simple green, hot water, and a rag, and also using a screwdriver to remove all of our hardware. The drawers had some liner that was pretty hard to pull off, but I was able to get all of them off the drawers. The base of this nightstand was a little outdated, and I wanted to make it more modern. So we started measuring out how we were going to do it, and then Grant went ahead and started cutting it to make it the more modern look. I forgot to get footage, but we took off a little accent piece that was in the middle of this nightstand, and I started giving it a good scuff sand. I planned on staining the bottom trim, but I ended up just wanting to paint the whole thing, so I didn't need to sand it down to bare wood. I didn't like the look of the top, and so I bonded in the entire piece all the way around so it would give us a flat top instead of some of those indents all the way around. And so once it dried, I sanded it all the way down so it was flush. I did end up having to do a couple coats because it was so deep to make sure that it was completely flat. After I finished sanding, I gave all of the drawers in the nightstand a good cleaning so that way the residue or any sand particles that were left were cleaned, and that way it gave me a good surface to start priming and paint. And I used this new, I don't know what you want to call it, like sack stuff, so that way I could spray the drawers without getting any other paint on the drawers that I didn't want it to be on. So that's me prepping it now. That way I can just paint everything at one time. Now I'm moving on to priming. For this project, I used a spray can primer of the Zinsser Bullseye 123. I also have like a gallon that I spray, but I was using the rest of my spray can for this project. I sand with a 400 grit sandpaper in between coats of primer. If I do multiple coats of primer, I sand in between that. And I also sand with the 400 grit in between coats of paint. You can see me like taking some rest here. It's because my air compressor is not big enough to keep up, and so I have to let it build up more pressure in order to get the finish that I want from this spray gun. Next, I moved on to installing the hardware and putting drawer liners on. Drawer liners are something that has really honestly scared me. I tried to put one on a project before with a different technique of putting it on, and it just did not work out at all. I had bumps and air bubbles in it all the way through, and so I tried it a different way this time of measuring it out against my drawer and then cutting it and taking the entire backing off. And that has worked really well for me for this project. So that's what I'll be doing each time from now on. And here's the final product. If you liked this video and learned anything, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the flippity flip.